Back at the end of 2023, before I even started my hair, this person right here is exactly who I saw in the mirror. Just like this fierce woman, right? With light and darkness. I saw Medusa, like a head full of snakes, so they say. So they say, right? Glaring eyes that can turn you into stone, right? But this is everything. Like, I'm just so happy. I'm truly becoming the woman that my intuition kept reminding me whom I was. And when I started these, I didn't know anything about spirituality. I knew nothing about a masculine energy, a feminine energy, nothing, right? And it just kind of like, I ain't gonna say it bothers me, but everybody else around me was very familiar with spirituality and to spiritual practices and all these other things, but then trying to act like they weren't. And then so I just finally just like, I don't want to go by what nobody on this planet told me. I want to listen to myself. And I didn't recognize my own voice at that time. So when I started these, I told my braids on the side, because this braid was like up to here. It was like right here. My hair was so uneven. So when I braided it, it stopped like right there. And I had put like some copper and some beads on it to make it hang lower because this side was longer. So I had told my hair, like, let's make a not even so much a deal, but it was just a conversation, like, because when I did become aware of both masculine and feminine energies and seeing like what they're both capable of, I'm like, hey, you don't outdo this side, you don't outdo this side. We're gonna work together. And then I asked my hair, hey, even if it's okay, I'm like, can we all grow together spiritually? I don't care about, like, I'm not gonna say I don't care about my physical appearance, but my spiritual appearance and how I show up spiritually, that matters more to me than anything. And that's why I'm okay sometimes being alone and people thinking I'm weird, because I've kind of understand that some people's job is to just misunderstand me, to try to keep me in that confusion or just like distorted mind. But I broke myself out of that with these. And not saying like, oh, go lock up your hair, but I'm just telling you that I did this for communication purposes, to be able to communicate with anything outside of this world, right? Anything. And this has been the best experience. The best experience. And then when I think about, going back home and the stories that we'll tell, like when we meet up with our other, spiritual people and stuff like that, like, I'm just, oh my, like, this is like becoming the best virtual reality experience for me. Because as you know, our pineal gland, that's the VR, the sensor, antennas. Like, oh my gosh, like we're walking mobile centers. And I love every part of this. I know this is random, but. And then also, this just reminds me of this dream that I had in a cave. I kind of briefly shared it. I think it was last year. I had a dream in a cave. And at first I was thinking it was just ladies from all time pieces of history because they all were dressed differently. And then just, later on, my intuition just let me know that all those women were me. And that's why they were thanking me, because they thanked me, was like, you did it. They had a whole ceremony for me in the cave with candles, my picture up on the wall. And it was just like a induction, like a celebration, and I was just being brought into like this big higher order, just being celebrated. And at that time I didn't understand it, and then now today I get it more. They were telling me thank you for mastering my avatar state. And when I say avatar state, I'm going to keep talking about characters, because just depending on the person, you'll get many different versions. Like, they ask about me, right? Some people might tell you I'm the nicest person in the world, right? But then some people will tell you I'm a bitch. And then I'm just going to tell you, please believe them both, right? And then for the ones that may have something negative to say, ask them why. Why do you feel this way? Or ask them the more important question, like, what did you do to make her feel this way? Because I know, I'm not going to say any town names, but I used to live in this one city, right? And I had seen, we're all hanging out and chilling, drinking. And this one guy, that's my age was trying to talk to like someone that's way younger than us, under 18, and I'm looking like nobody's saying nothing. And everybody's just like, oh, da 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 da. Not me. A fire instantly just lit in the bottom of the pit of my soul. And I cussed him out, told him to get his nasty. I went in. And then, like, weeks later, same city, I'm hearing people say, like, oh, such and such said you a bitch. And I'm like, ask such and such why. Make you creep. But, you know, just depending on the I want to say simulation or just the environment you have to be in. That's why it's going back into characters, and you just gotta step into character and do what you gotta do. To me, I was protecting that innocent child because even she looked uncomfortable, and I'm looking at all the other adults like nobody's gonna say nothing. Nobody's gonna say nothing. There was other grown men there too, so I was expecting like one of the grown men to check their friend. Nope. So I had to come out of pocket, get out of body, step into another character, and do what I had to do, right? So that's what I was saying, like about me mastering my avatar state. And then you think about a spiral, right? Just a simple spiral, and it's just gonna keep going around and around. But when it goes around, it's a revisit, a reflection. And just because like you had to step into that character don't mean you have to own that identity. It was a character, like a suit, a costume. And now that you did the job, take it off. I don't know why I just rambled about that, but I don't know.